Hello and welcome, good folks. This is Abhinav Arora, and welcome to yet another episode of Wednesday. Today is not a podcast, but Wednesdays with Avalon Meta Live. We go live every single day of the week at 8 p.m. For those of you who are tuning into this video for the very first time, subscribe so that you don't miss our 8 p.m. live streams. And if you've already subscribed, why don't you like this video? And if you've already subscribed, why don't you press the bell icon? Because what happens, even if you subscribe, sometimes you don't get the notification. So to get the notification, not miss out on our videos, press the bell icon so that you get notifications. Now, today, I have something important to talk to you guys about. In fact, I want you to go on a journey with me. And in this journey, we're going to have pit stops. We're going to have roughly 10 pit stops, and each pit stop is going to cover a certain point. What is this journey about? This journey is about creation. Why in your 20s you should be a creator. But before we start this journey, can we have the intro, please? Why in your 20s you should be a creator? I've always created content for folks in their 20s, and I hope this is of great value to you. I've always created for you, but today I want you to be a creator. Now, here we come to the pit stop one. What kind of a creator do I want you to be? Is it a content creator? Well, perhaps. In the last 1 year, because of pandemic, what we've run into, or what we've encountered is the creator economy. What is the creator economy? Creator economy is this thing where people like you and I have built audiences on Twitter, have built audiences on Instagram, have built audiences on YouTube, and what they've done is they have found a way to monetize their audiences. They give value to this audience, they give content to this audience, and when this audience consumes their content again and again and engages with them, this audience starts trusting the content creator. So content is a way to build trust in mass. When you create and you show it to people, people start liking you. They start trusting you. And because of internet, your content can reach across the globe. It has no bounds, it has no boundaries, and you can generate trust in mass. And trust in mass means influence. So yes, perhaps one of the things you can do to become a creator is become a content creator. But is that it? Is that all that it means to be a creator? Is that all that it means to create? That brings us to our second pit stop. What does it mean to be a creator? Now, is content creation all that there is to creation? Does the word creator just mean to create content? Let's zoom out from the social media and the creator economy bit for a bit and try to understand what is the mindset of a creator. For that, let's try to understand this by negation. What does a creator do? Creator creates. What does he create? What is the thing that they create? It's a creation. It's a creation of any kind. What is the opposite of creation? It's consumption. What is the opposite of a creator? It's a consumer. What does a consumer do? They consume. Now, I want you to think of a lifestyle where you have all the luxuries of the world. Imagine yourself being on a couch made of fur. You have a big wide plasma TV with you. You have air conditioned hall that you're living in. You have a home theater system, and you've got the best of potato chips with you. And you're consuming content, and you're consuming those chips. Sounds lavish to a certain extent. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to repeat this lifestyle into 1,000 days. I need you to repeat this lifestyle of consumption of cheap dopamine on your screen and food into 1,000 days. Tell me how it feels. To me, there's a sense of dissatisfaction that's lingering in this lifestyle. Now, again, another imaginary experiment or thought experiment that I have for you. Whatever salary you're getting right now, let's say for the rest of your life, you're given the same salary or twice that salary adjusted for inflation. What you have to do is you don't have to work, you don't have to create anything in your life, you should only consume. Enough salary for you to afford all the consumables in your life, everything is going to be taken care of. Would you choose to live that kind of a lifestyle where you're running from one craving to another and chasing consumables one after the other? Basically, running from one craving to another. What does that kind of a lifestyle look like? That's your second pit stop. Now, moving to the third pit stop, I want to throw some, evidence and science into this. There is something called the theory of cognition. What is the theory of cognition? Theory of cognition says something about creativity. We spoke about creation, creator, create. This leads to creativity. Creativity is synonymous with all of these things. Theory of cognition says that creativity is the basis of human life. When you create or when you express, you are exercising choice. How does that happen? When you're creating, you're basically letting some part of you out in the real world. You're playing with the reality. You are contributing to the reality. You are fiddling with the world. As perhaps Steve Jobs once said that I want to make a dent in the universe, a small dent in the universe. You're adding to the reality. You're acting. When you create, you're exercising choice. You're expressing. This is a power. This is the basis of life. To create is to be alive. You're exercising freedom when you're creating. Think about it. Now, we come to the fourth pit stop. Now, if you've not created, and if all of this is sort of new to you, how do you get started? How do you get started on this journey, this mindset shift? Let me tell you about this kind of a therapy. There is this therapy, it's called expressive arts therapy, that's given to people who are depressed. What does this therapy involve? Individuals who have depression, they are made to adopt some sort of creative activity. Could be writing, could be painting. What these guys do, basically, what these guys are made to do by their therapist is they're made to write stuff, and there are certain unresolved emotions. If they're not able to express with words, they're made to paint them out. And when they do that, this is a therapy. This is a therapy to treat various forms of mental illnesses. So how does this basically work? When they create, when they paint, in a very micro form, what they're doing is they're exercising choice. They are deciding which line to draw and where should that line go. Should it be a straight line or should it twirl and twist or crisscross? You're exercising choice, you're exercising freedom, and that helps. That's, as I said, that's the basis of human life. So how can you start? What do you have to take from it? Block a 15, 20, 30 minute slot and make time to do this. And this might not sound something really revelational, but I think a lot of us have forgotten how to do that. You can do this. You can do this by switching off your TV, switching off your laptop, switching off your iPad, iPhone, whatever. Finding that slot and finding the time to create something. It could be as simple as writing your own diary. Now with this, we come to the fifth pit stop. Fifth pit stop is about controlling your environment. As I said, switch off your TV, switch off your mobile phone, find that slot out for yourself. What are you doing by doing this? You're controlling your environment. And that's very, very, very necessary because, there's this book called Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits says that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. What they're basically saying is be humble. Motivation doesn't lead you places. You can't force yourself to do things. Instead, change your environment, change the systems around you, fall back on the systems. Those systems will make you do things. You will adapt to those systems instead of, the world adapting to you. So similarly, control your environment. Now, a fun example of this, Varun has always said that, if you want to lose weight or if you want to get fitter, start hanging out with folks who go to gym. Right, and you've heard so many quotes like you are a product of folks who are, 5 folks who are similar to you. Now, I'll give you a fun example. I wanted to lose weight multiple times in my life, as recently as last year. And what happened is I used to live with Shashank, and when I choose to lose weight, I cut off all the snacks from the house's grocery pipeline. Psh. But Shashank loves junk or used to love junk, so I ensured that none of his junk food made it to the kitchen. When the grocery guy would deliver, I would send all the grocery to the kitchen, but then I'll ensure the packet, the carton of chips would go straight into his room so that I don't see. I feel my system feels that okay, there are no chips in the room. I would respect Shishank's privacy, so I won't go to his house or rather his room and pick up chips. So there are no chips around me. I'm only eating healthy, and that helps. I've always constrained my environment for things that I should not be eating, and it's always helped. So what I'm trying to say is you should also have a control. Design your environment the way you want it to be. Consciously control how much you consume. And how you can do that, you can, since we're talking about digital consumption here, you can do that with a lot of app blockers. There's so many apps. Instagram and YouTube have now started telling you that, guys, it's time to go to sleep. Fun thing, but we've been living in this era where these apps allow you to block your screen time, allow you to focus, allow you to do deep work. Deep Work by Carl Newport. I think you should read that book. But okay, moving on in the journey. 6th pit stop. Why do you need to do this? Why do you need to cut off all consumption? Now let's go back. As humans, for the longest time in the history, we've gone out, done, created means acted in certain manner. We've hunted food, we've grown food, we've arranged for things, we've toiled hard. But over the last few decades, what's happened is, we're meant for a balance. We're meant for a balance between creation and consumption. But over the last few years, what's happened, in fact, decades, what's happened is the ratio has gotten skewed. We're consuming much more than we're creating. And that's not good for our mental health. Linking it back to, the theory of cognition and, that expressive arts therapy, people are made to create because they've lost how to create. They've lost that freedom. So what do you do to fix this skewed ratio? You control your environment. And why did this ratio get skewed? No, as I said, it's not just because of digital. Some people blame capitalism. Capitalism is actually good. It's not because of capitalism either. It's not just because of digital. It's because of consumerism. We're consuming too much because of consumerism. Simple enough, right? Like directly you understand. But can you stop consuming altogether? Should you stop consuming altogether? That's stupid. Because if you create, no one watches, no one sees, that's also stupid, right? You need to create a balance. And we're living in a society. We're living in a cooperative society. The society cooperates amongst themselves. So you need to consume other people's creation as well, but let there be a balance and a filter on what you consume. Moving on. Let's get our Gadi to the 7th pit stop. What happens when you create? Something fun happens. You get out of your head. Now, there's this tendency of humans of, learning enough about something before giving it an attempt. People learn a lot about, attempting an activity before they attempt it. And the easiest example to discard these kind of thought processes or school of thoughts is you can't learn how to ride a cycle by just learning how to ride a cycle, by reading how to ride a cycle. You can't learn how to swim without diving into the pool. So you need to understand that you need action to move in any direction. Action in the world, in real world, in all spheres of life, reveals information. What does this mean? What do I mean when I say action reveals information? When I say action reveals information, I mean that the world around you is unpredictable. Even the books that you have are sort of wrong. They're sort of half knowledge. They have, the writer's bias. Some of the research papers are also, not as accurate. The world is unpredictable AF. You can ask a doctor about it. Even though something has 99% efficacy, if you ask a doctor that will this cure me, he can't confidently say yes, because what if you're that 1%? So the world is not predictable. You need to go out there and test things for yourself and find what works for you. Your action reveals information. Information is not found in books. It's found in action. So get started. Get started. Don't wait till you're ready. You cannot wait till you're ready. And to navigate waters like this, you need to think in a different mindset. This mindset is of taking bets. I know I'm not ready, but let's get on that cycle and try to ride. I might fall, but will that fall kill me? Can I take a fall? If I can take a fall, great. Awesome. Cool. Worth a shot. Thinking in bets. That's what you got to do. Action is here. Here is synonymous with creation. Creating. Acting is synonymous with creating. Hence. Now, finally, coming to the last few pit stops. What happens when you become a creator? You stop being an internet troll. The average consumer on the internet is just bitter about people who create. Their mind is wavering. Their mind is not still. They don't have anything. They're just consuming on repeat and just opining on things, wasting their decision making by hating on people. You stop doing that when you become a creator, because some sort of an action stills your mind. It's almost like therapies. For God's sake, if you cannot create, the simple way to create, a lot of people find a way to act is by playing a game, finding a game to play. Now, I'm not saying find any kind of game, but there are games like Tetris. Tetris is a game that's known to bring people into the flow state. What is a flow state? Flow state is the perfect balance between anxiety and boredom. And when you're in that flow state, it is the ultimate, or it's the optimum human experience to be in that flow state. So there are certain games, and by the way, you can't be in the flow state while consuming. You have to be creating. You have to be acting to be in flow state. Your body is going to be in action when you're in flow state. So find games like Tetris, or find games that allow you to create. In fact, Fortnite does so many things. I've seen crazy things happening in Fortnite. There was a concert organized in Fortnite. There's so much you can do. I'm talking about lockdown. You can play Fortnite and you can do so much in there. You can create so much. You can gang up with people, do whatever. There's Wendy Burgers ran a marketing campaign by destroying the beef carrying fridges inside the Fortnite game. It's a wide dynamic of creation. So go there. Go game, in fact. Gaming is actually good for mental health. You can go and research about it. There was a lot of things against addiction to gaming, but we're talking about gaming, the pros of gaming. There are a lot, and we've only just started to uncover that. So that's that. Now coming to the last pit stop here. You need to understand that creation is basically a habit. As I said, systems. It's a system that you need to deploy in your life. How do you deploy systems in your life? You start one day at a time. You do certain act one day at a time. And when you repeat this act, it eventually becomes a habit. And once you've repeated a habit for long enough, it becomes your identity. You start looking back at yourself. Oh my God, now I start looking back at myself. Oh my God, I started creating content about a year ago. Now I'm a content creator. That's become my identity. If you repeat a habit multiple times, it becomes your identity. And when you make something your identity, then the motivation to stick to that identity is there, because you've invested so much into it. Now you want to preserve that identity, so much hard work you've put. That's why it's hard to break out of your narrative, right? So start building a habit, repeat that habit multiple times, and eventually you'll find a natural flow and you will be invested in that habit. That'll keep you motivated. Boom. That's what you're going to do. Now, finally, and a good example of that, by the way, before I come to the last closing thoughts, the last test pit stop. IKEA, IKEA, the furniture brand. What did they do? These guys realized. In fact, they called it the IKEA effect. IKEA supplies furniture where they give you the parts where you have to assemble it yourself. It's DIY, do-it-yourself furniture. So what happens in IKEA furniture is, once you've done it yourself, you've invested some of your time and commitment into it, right? It's some part of it has also associated with your identity. Now it's hard to let go of that furniture. People get attached to their furniture that they've built. It's called the IKEA effect, IKEA effect. You can Google it. You can find more details about it. Now, finally, guys, okay. having worked with communities, having built a community platform, and having run, India's largest learning community over the last year, there's something that I've realized. I've come across this fun ratio in any community that applies to any community, and tells me something very interesting about human behavior. In any community, 90% of the people are going to be passive lurkers. They're going to be consumers. 9% people, 9 to 10% people are the only one who are going to, actively engage or participate. So there are always going to be more consumers. We are in such a stage. We are in such a state, probably the default state. There are always going to be far less consumers, far more consumers than creators. But what a shame, yaar. What a shame if you've lived a life, if you have a story to tell, if you have a freedom to express, if you want to, create, if you can express a choice, if you can bring yourself to that doing mentality. What a shame that 90% of people are still not doing it. They're living silent lives, and they continue to live silent lives. I don't want you to be those 90%. I want you guys to be a creator and, as Steve Jobs said, create a dent in the universe. If you like this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. That's a wrap, guys. See you.